times where story glows and culture flows. For folktales, gist, and lifestyle, subscribe to my channel for more weekly episodes and spicy cultural content that will keep your roots alive.
The Whispering Drum of Owerri. In the heart of the lush, green lands of Owerri, there lived a talking drum, known by the villagers as Ekeriko. It was said to be unlike any other drum, for it had the power to speak and tell stories of the past, present, and even the future. But Ekeriko was no ordinary drum, it was a keeper of secrets, a friend to the wise, and a guide to the lost. The villagers would often hear the drum's faint hum in the evening breeze, signaling that it was ready to share its wisdom. The drum was carved from the wood of the sacred Iroko tree, a tree so ancient that even the elders in Owerri had only heard stories of its beginnings. Its skin, a smooth and taut covering of goat leather, had been carefully stretched by master craftsmen over the years. When struck with a skilled hand, it would sing songs that echoed through the hills of the land, telling stories of heroes, ancestors, and battles fought long ago. But there was one condition: the drum would only speak to those with a pure heart. It did not care for wealth, status, or power. Only those who came to it with sincerity, honesty, and respect for the past could hear its stories. Over the years, many had tried to unlock its secrets, but none had succeeded, until a young boy named Chijioke arrived. Chijioke was known throughout the village for his curious nature. His grandmother, an old woman with wise eyes, would often tell him tales of the magical drum. "The drum holds the truth of our people," she would say. "If you ever find it, listen closely, for it will teach you lessons that no book or teacher can give." One bright morning, as the sun cast a golden glow over the village, Chijioke set off on a journey to find Ekeriko. He had heard the drum's song before, carried on the wind, and now he felt an undeniable pull toward it. The air was thick with anticipation as he made his way through the dense forest of Owerri, following the rhythm of the drum that seemed to guide his every step. As Chijioke ventured deeper into the woods, the sounds of the village faded away, replaced by the quiet murmur of the trees and the steady beat of the drum. It was as though the forest itself was alive, whispering secrets to him. Eventually, he arrived at a clearing, where the drum rested upon a large stone pedestal. The sunlight streamed through the branches, casting an ethereal glow on Ekeriko. The drum seemed to shimmer as if it were waiting for him. "Ekeriko, are you real?" Chijioke asked, his voice trembling with a mix of awe and uncertainty. To his surprise, the drum responded, its voice deep and resonant like the rumble of thunder. "I am real, young one," it said. "I have been waiting for someone with a pure heart to hear my stories. Would you listen?" Chijioke, now filled with excitement, sat down beside the drum. The air around him seemed to grow still, and he could feel the presence of the ancestors, their spirits watching over him. With a steady hand, he gently tapped the drum, and in that moment, the rhythm of its voice began to echo through the clearing. "Long ago," the drum began, "there was a time when Owerri was filled with laughter, music, and unity. But peace, like all things, is fragile, and our people were faced with a great challenge." The drum's voice grew soft as it spoke of a great war that once threatened the village. Neighbors from distant lands had set their eyes on Owerri, desiring its rich resources and fertile lands. The people of Owerri, led by their greatest warriors, defended their home with courage and pride. But within the walls of the village, treachery brewed. A trusted warrior named Ogbuefi had been deceived by a rival chief, who promised him power and wealth in exchange for betraying his people. The drum spoke of Ogbuefi's inner turmoil, torn between his loyalty to his people and the temptation of glory. Betrayal, the drum murmured, is often whispered in the darkest corners of the heart. Owerri, driven by shame and guilt, fled the village before the battle was won. His departure broke the heart of the people, and the village fell into a time of mourning. But the story did not end there. Sometimes, the drum whispered, "It is not the hero who saves us, but the strength we find in the people we least expect." The drum spoke of Ikin, Owerri's young son, who returned to Owerri years after his father's betrayal. He had been raised in another village, unaware of his father's actions. But when he learned of the dishonor that had tainted his family's name, he knew he had to return to Owerri to restore what had been lost. Ikin arrived in the village during a time of great unrest. The people were divided, and distrust ran deep. But instead of wielding a sword, Ikin spoke with words of compassion. He reminded the villagers of the true meaning of home, unity, and forgiveness. Slowly, the walls of hatred began to crumble, and the villagers started to heal. The drum paused, its beat slowing to a gentle pulse. Through love and understanding, Ikin brought peace to Owerri. And in doing so, he proved that the past can only be healed by embracing the future with an open heart. Chijioke sat in silence, the weight of the drum's words sinking deep into his soul. "But what happened to Owerri?" he asked, his voice barely a whisper. The drum's voice softened, almost mournful. "Owerri never returned to the village," it said. "But his name lives on in the songs we sing. And through forgiveness, we keep his spirit alive." Chijioke stood up, his heart filled with new wisdom. "Thank you, Ekeriko," he said, bowing respectfully to the drum. "I will carry your stories with me." As he turned to leave, the drum's voice called out one last time, its rhythm gentle and calm. "Remember, young one, the stories of our past are the seeds of our future. Never forget them." With a heart full of wonder, Chijioke made his way back to the village. As he walked through the forest, the rhythm of Ekeriko's song echoed in his ears, reminding him of the lessons he had learned about love, betrayal, forgiveness, and the strength of community. And in the years to come, Chijioke shared the story of Ekeriko with all who would listen, ensuring that the whispering drum's wisdom would never be forgotten. The end.
We have come to the end of today's episode. Like, subscribe, and share for more captivating folktales and drama around the globe. Because Owerri Times isn't just storytelling, it is a whole new vibe. See you next time!